We have someone to see.
Hi. Hello. Wonderful. Oh, that's the best part.
Hold on. Oh my goodness, Tami, it's so great to meet you.
It's wonderful to meet you too. I've been looking forward to this.
And the platform of Sounds True, Insights at the Edge.
Yeah.
What a great platform that your soul created for you to do all this exploration.
What's at the edge? Insights at the edge?
I think I named it Insights at the Edge because I was thinking about this image, how most of us live in a known territory.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, this is what I know. And what's so exciting is for something to come in that is like right on that edge. It's unknown, but we kind of maybe have a sense about it. So it's right, it's like that edge between the known and the unknown and the soon to be discovered. And can we learn at that place in our experience? So we're like, wow, I kind of, like sometimes I notice when I talk to somebody who's a great teacher, I'm like this, and they say something and it comes in over here. It's right outside. And it's kind of like, I kind of could see it, but I couldn't say it myself. That's why I'm learning from them, because they're the one who's saying it. And so that's really what I meant by this notion of insights at the edge, which is not, let's just not recapitulate everything that we've, like I've said this to you 100 times, I'm saying the same thing, and this is, my same talk that I give. I always give the miracle talk, and here's my miracle talk, and I think that's boring. And so I also wanted guests to be like, I was like, don't give me your packaged thing. I don't want your packaged thing. I want you to be right here, present, and for something that is on your edge to come forward, because I'm going to push a little bit to see what's actually happening. We're going to make new discoveries.
I love that freshness. Yeah.
Yes.
Always fresh. Always fresh. Hot cross buns right out of the oven.
Very good.
Tami, what's the word spiritual mean to you?
There's a big mystery under the word spiritual, which is why I like it. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times people are like, well, we want evidence-based mindfulness training. And that's good and that's valuable. And we can see the science and we can see that we're moving out of the default mode network in our minds. So I get all that and it's very valuable. However, I think there's a dimension of our inner experience that we can't nail down. We can't even fully articulate words for it in a definitive kind of way, which is why often, like within the Jewish faith, they would go G-D, or the name that can't be named. And there's some dimension, and this is the dimension that's most interesting to me, that's mysterious.
Yeah.
And yet it's so how could this thing that's mysterious at the same time be of ultimate value? Like that's my experience inside. Like what's the spiritual? It's this mysterious nature of being, the essence of being. That is the ultimate value, because it's the thing I care the most about when I think of what am I serving? What's expressing through me? What feels like love that keeps growing and growing and growing and growing? That all feels like the spiritual to me, and yet any words you can use for it don't quite do the job.
Right.
They don't, it's never complete. And so so to me, the spiritual has all of that mystery in it. And that's why I like the word, even though it means different things to different people and it can be very confusing.
You talk a lot about what is the good that can happen today and where is the miracle. Is that consistent for you?
Well, first of all, like this moment right now, us meeting, is that a miracle? It's pretty cool. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It's celebratory. It's sacred. Right here. And why is it sacred? Because all three of us are really present for it. We care.
Right.
And it makes it a sacred moment. Do we have the opportunity for every day to have that quality, for every hour? Yes, we do. And it doesn't have to be because we're meeting other people. We can be meeting ourselves. and our own experience. And it doesn't have to be because it's fabulous and blissful. It can be disturbing and unnerving, but we can still feel the sacredness of it, the specialness of it.
Coming from A Course in Miracles, it says, the miracle is a shift in your perception.
Yes.
When this perception goes back to this holy moment, right here,
Exactly.
right now,
Right.
Exactly.
then it becomes that miracle. I'm sitting with Tami Simon. I'm sitting with Alison Martin. Here we are. There was, here we are, right here, right now.
Yeah, I'm not a student of A Course in Miracles, but when you brought up the holy moment, and then you talked about always fresh, it seems to me that there's something in that goes together, that when you're recognizing the sacredness of the moment, it is always like it's the first time.
Right.
And, I've noticed there's a hike right outside my door, just a few houses, that goes up into a canyon.
Wow.
And it's really gorgeous. And one of the things I notice is I always feel like I'm on the hike for the first time. And I'm like, how is it? It's something about wilderness, because it's so complex and beautiful and interesting. So even if I hike on that trail every day, each time it's brand new. And it's like to be able to bring that kind of lens, not just to the wilderness, but to ourselves and to each other and to all of our experience. Part of it is, in order to recognize the miracle, we have to not want it to be different. And just to be okay with exactly because when you're not in resistance to it, suddenly it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Right.
Tami, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about meditation.
Well, there are lots of different kinds of meditation. The type of meditation that was really powerful in my experience was somatic meditation or embodied meditation, working inside the space of the body and really grounding in body-based awareness. And when I mentioned to you turning towards experience, what I mean by that is also turning towards the physical dimension of experience. So not abstract philosophy. And through somatic meditation, I learned to get really interested in my own experience, my own physicality, and turning towards that and being with that. And through that, there was a type of capacity that became developed to be with anything. And that includes intense pain and distress and experiential intensity of all kinds. And the ability to be with experiential intensity opens us up to be with the heights of joy, pleasure, and ecstasy, as well as, because we've grown this capacity. So we're not just living any longer in a small kind of contained world, like I won't feel that much grief, sadness, and loss. So therefore I'm constricted. It's like the whole beinghood opens up with a welcoming of absolutely all experience, which also gives us this capacity for great joy and pleasure and fulfillment, as well as every aspect of the human experience. And so after practicing formally, I was teaching meditation as well within this tradition that I had studied in. And at a certain point, I realized I didn't want to teach anymore, that I wanted to put all of my energy into Sounds True and bringing the meditative training into action, into language, into leadership, into business. That's what became important to me. And I started not wanting to spend time formally sitting on the cushion. Just to be truthful, it started feeling forced. Like all that time that I spent 2 months a year, it never felt forced. I wanted to do it. I was drawn to doing it. I felt called. And then at a certain point, it just felt forced. And I was like, I'm not going to force myself to do it. And so I started seeing instead the meditative opportunity, if you will, in every part of my day and into the evening. And occasionally I will sit and meditate, but not often, in a formal way.
Right.
Right.
That's beautiful, because that part of the conditioned mind that says, oh, you better do it, you're not a good person if you don't, you're not, you know, all of that, I do not think that serves the truest meaning of meditation.
Yeah. And then it's the question is like, what are we drawn to?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like, some people are really drawn to just quiet time in nature.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where they really finally drop in, is, you know, sitting on a rock or something like that. So I think a lot of it is we have to follow what we're called. Like, that's the key. It's like, what are we, not what's out there,
Right.
not what the meditation teachers say.
Right.
You know, believe me, within my tradition, the fact that I stopped formal meditation, this is very taboo.
Yeah.
Totally taboo. Completely. But I think one of my operating principles is there's only one of each of us. And because there's only one of you, you can't necessarily follow an outside recipe to become yourself. You can't follow what anybody says, what any teacher says. You have to say, oh, I'm not like a cookie cutter or something. I'm an unprecedented human event happening right now. What's actually really true for me right now, what's really true is that, you know, I want to have an ice cream meditation. I don't know. Like, I want to slowly eat a scoop of ice cream. That's what's really true. Or whatever it might be, you know, whatever it might be.
Well, you got me on ice cream.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, that's the end of our interview.
And a good howl it is. All right.
And I love the dharma of dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, this makes me want to bring my dogs in. Hold on one second before we say
Yeah.
goodbye.
Oh my goodness.
Here's a good look at dog number 1. Raspberry's half Cocker Spaniel and half Poodle.
Raz is, what a great
Yeah,
name.
Those eyes.
Hi, darling. Hi, honey.
All right, there we go. Okay.
Thank you
all right.
so much,
Take good
Adele.
care. Yeah,
Oh,
bye-bye.